What's good, everybody? When you're in the building, and welcome to the Dub. Today, we will be giving you our second round predictions for the NBA playoffs. And as usual, I will be joined by Mongab Carrillo.
Hey, what's good, everybody?
And we have a new face on the show who will be part of future basketball episodes. Everybody, please welcome Aaron Dela Vega.
Hey, what's good, everybody? You already know the vibe.
Sa mga di kaila kay Aaron, hatagi sila gamay na introduction about yourself.
I'm Aaron. Of course, you both know that. I'm also at the same school as Onin and Mongab, and we go way, way back. We all play basketball, of course, and I would always play basketball with Onin anywhere, anytime, and I would just like, yeah, I got you always. That's a little bit about me.
Got you, do, bro. So, to start this episode, as time of recording, there will be only one game left remaining for the first round of the NBA, and that will be the Game 7 of the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Clippers. So, to start this episode, what will be your rating for the first round as a whole? And we will start first with the new face on the show. Aaron, what rating will you give for the first round of the playoffs? And give us also a small reason why.
From 1 to 10, my rating would be as what Kenny from King of the Quarter would say. He gave it a 7, so I too would give it a 7 because it was underwhelming. We had Game 6, but those Game 6 were meh, just as everybody thought. We had the Knicks and the Hawks, but it was also meh. We could have had more. Generally, the Clippers and the Mavs, that is what I want to see. I want to see Kawhi perform at the highest level, but I want to see Luka also compete at that same level as Kawhi, duke it out. But I believe that Game 7, this is the only Game 7 in the first round, that will be amazing. And that's about it.
Alright, so I give it an 8 over 10. Because, we've seen some good playoff performances from Luka, and the latest one was last night from Kawhi. And also Devin Booker showed off in his first playoffs, and the Jay Crowder salsa dance.
Okay.
East side, let's go to the East. We had a meltdown of the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler was terrible, and I did not expect them to lose in 4 games. What else? That's it. That's it for me.
For me, I would give the first round a 6 over 10 because of injuries and blowouts. If you look at the Utah game, it was all blowout. The Dallas, it was a good series. They're still continuing until Game 7. Same with the Denver and the Portland. The Lakers was destroyed by injuries. You see Anthony Davis and Chris Paul. The Sixers, injuries and blowouts. The Knicks and the Atlanta, they were good. Right? They were good. That was, I think, the best series for the East, but it was still blowouts. Then you go out with the Milwaukee blowout games. Then you have the Boston and Brooklyn, which is totally blowouts. 6 is my rating for the first round of the series. Those are our ratings for the first round. And so we go to the main course of this episode, which will be predicting the second round of the NBA playoffs. And we start off for the very first official game for the second round, which will start in a couple of hours from now, and it will be Brooklyn versus Milwaukee. Who do you have right now?
I'll go first. I'm picking the Nets in 7. This will be a 7-game series. This will be a fun matchup between Giannis and KD, but the Bucks will just be overpowered by the Brooklyn Nets because they have too much firepower with Harden, Kyrie, and KD, and also we also have Blake Griffin over there. But they're gonna struggle guarding Giannis, and I think this will be KD's 80's breakout season, breakout playoff series for the Nets. He's gonna prove himself.
I have Brooklyn. I'm gonna trust the big three process because who wouldn't? It's Kyrie, KD, and Kevin Durant. I'm going.
Kyrie,
If you're asking if I'm going how many games, I'm going 6 games only, because I believe the big three could demolish the Milwaukee Bucks. But who knows? Maybe the big three of Milwaukee, Giannis, Drew, and Middleton will do something. Make this game very exciting. I bet this game will be very exciting because we saw in the season itself, every game was close. So that's what I think. This game would also be close.
remember, they don't have DiVincenzo anymore.
I trust.
They have Bryn Forbes. Who it's just a next man up mentality for them.
Both of you pick Brooklyn. For me, looking at this game, whoever wins this game goes to the finals immediately if Joel Embiid is injured. But looking at this series again, these are both evenly matched up teams. You have the small market, organic, um, low-key built type of team going up against a team built with friendship, money, and max contracts. And boy, do I wanna see the small market team win. Don't get me wrong, I love KD, I love Kyrie, I love Harden. But it's just that something you wanna see like Goliath fall down. And in this case, Goliath is Brooklyn. I know that they are the heavy favorites to win it all since Los Angeles Lakers lost a couple of days ago, and it is completely understandable. They have three superstars in that team, three of the best scorers in the league or maybe of all time. They also have the best ball handler, and they are led by a coach who is also regarded as one of the best point guards of all time. And they are a super team, but they are also a team that struggles to get stops. But there are also times we see, or there are moments we see, that they are able to get stops wherein it matters the most. But going up against this Milwaukee team, every possession matters. And if you look at the Miami versus Milwaukee game, you don't even know if Miami is trash or Milwaukee is that team right now, that team to win a championship. And boy, we will see that in this series, bro. And this will sound crazy, but if Jeff Green plays game 2 and the next coming games because he's out for game 1, he will be one of the X factors for Brooklyn because he will make Milwaukee or Giannis have a bit of a hard time because he is the best defender in Brooklyn. Yes, we will have KD versus Giannis. Yes, we will got Giannis versus KD. And speaking of Giannis, he won Defensive Player of the Year 2 times back to back years. He is a well known team defender and he is everywhere on the court, but he was never known as a one on one defender. And looking at that Miami and Milwaukee series, he showed that he is a one on one defender. A very good or excellent one on one defender. And yo, Jimmy Butler going to the playoffs, or for the teams who are in the playoffs, he is a top 10 player. And he scored or averaged 12 points, shooting 20% from the field, and became the worst player in the whole series. Based on the plus and minus, he became the worst player. Your best team, our best player, or for your team became the worst player in the series. And yo, that's all because of Giannis, PJ Tucker, and Drew Holiday. Like, yo. And since this is a prediction video, I am going for Milwaukee in 7. Yes, we will get KD versus KD game. Yes, we will get a Kyrie game. Yes, we'll get a James Harden game. But I believe that the Milwaukee Bucks defense is real and the Brooklyn's defense isn't real. So I have them winning this series 7. This is like a bit of a message, but kay Almoralde dira, kablo ko nag-switch na kag teams. Himo na daan kag theory o kambyuhan dayon imong jersey kung mapildi ang Brooklyn.
Hold on, remember the Bucks also were also able to contain Bam Adebayo. I haven't even heard of him the entire playoff series. He was being slandered on social media because of his poor performance, thanks to the defense of the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's one of the reasons why it will be tough for Brooklyn as well. They have every piece to guard one of their best players. And those are our predictions for that game. And the winner of that game goes on to fight the winner of the next series, which we'll be talking about, which will be Sixers versus the Atlanta Hawks. Who do you have here?
Personally, I have the Hawks if really in the process Joel Embiid does not show up because I know he has a hurt leg right now, meniscus. I'm going with Hawks in 7 because not unless Ben Simmons turns into the next LeBron James, I don't see themselves advancing to the next round. I believe also in the role players of Philly, Danny Green, Tybal, the rest of the bigs. But I don't know. I don't know if they could do anything without. I don't know. I don't believe in them if they don't have Joel Embiid. Because Embiid is the entire thing that makes the process, of course. But I believe in Trigger Trey, Ice Trey Young, the villain of New York, to carry them to the next round and advance. Because I know that I have seen that DeAndre Hunter also, that he's been blossoming as one of the best defenders for a role player. This is from the words of King of the Fourth Quarter. Is becoming blossoming into a future defender that can guard almost any positions, and it's amazing to watch him do that. So is John Collins. I know he's a quiet game, but I believe John Collins can up his game instead of just catching lobs, get rebounds. But I believe
How
they
about
can do more.
Bogdanovic?
Yeah, I believe Bogdan can turn into Klay Thompson just like he did in New York. Like, did you see those final possessions in New York? Catch, shoot, fade away, dagger, ice tray, Bogdan. He better be the next Splash Bro if he keeps this up. But that's on me. Hawks in 7. Philly in 5 if Ben Simmons turns into the next LeBron James instead of just passing and then going for alley-oop and driving. If he takes threes, it's okay to take threes, but if he doesn't make them, it's okay as long as he takes the threes to make him a what you call this, a threat outside, at least to make other defenders look up to him like, oh, he can shoot, but at least he's trying to shoot so that the defense will shake up a bit. And that's on my opinion on what this series could go on.
Shout out Cold Game.
Either way, with Embiid or without him, they're gonna win. But if he's playing, I'm picking them to Sixers in 5. If he's not playing, still picking them to win in 6. What they need to do is Ben Simmons needs to shoot the ball, even if he doesn't make it. If he's open, just take the shot. If same goes to Tobias Harris, who's more consistent on the 3-point shot, and he can attack the basket as well. He needs to score, especially if Embiid won't be playing. Same goes for Seth Curry, and Danny Green needs to nail those shots. If they're open, take it. There won't be. It's always better to you miss the shots. You miss 100 of the shots you don't take. So all they have to do is take the shot, live with the result, and they need to defend. Make somebody else beat. Oh, actually no, it cannot happen with the Hawks because they have Bogdanovic, who could also beat the 76ers. And I think without Embiid, they're gonna need Howard to defend Clint Capella. With Embiid, Sixers in 5. Without him, Sixers in 6.
Shout out call game kay parehas na yung analysis ni Aaron.
Let's go, Kenny! Shout out
Kenny.
to Kenny!
Kenny. So, yeah, shout out to Kenny Bicham, KOT4Q. Yeah, hey, um, I have here Sixers in 6 because the Joel injury is day to day, slight torn meniscus. That's cap, very very cap because I already experienced a leg injury before, which is not torn meniscus, but it's almost the same in the leg. That takes months, and that day to day is cap, especially if it's a meniscus, where that's cap. So for me, I have this in 6 because if Joel can play, even though he isn't healthy, they still have Tobias Harris, they still have Seth Curry, but Trey Young will also be having a hard time against him because the Ben Simmons, who will be the defensive player of the year, will be guarding him. He will be guarding him. So it will be a hard time for Trey Young, especially if he won't go like draw for foul, or if he won't do that and won't shoot threes. He will have a hard time against it. But I know Tobias Harris can handle it even if Joel Embiid is a bit hurt. But he will also have a hard time against DeAndre Hunter. But Seth Curry is there, and you know Seth Curry did his thing. That's why Sixers won in 6 or 5 last game. So yeah, I have Sixers winning this game. Capella will guard Embiid, and if Embiid isn't healthy, you know he will always have a hard time, and Sixers will have a hard time. And speaking also of Ben Simmons, it's okay if he doesn't have a jump shot. Giannis did that before, LeBron did that before in his early days, but he needs, and I mean he really needs to shoot his free throws or make his free throws, or else they're going to lose, bro. Like last game, the hack a Ben. Bro, that was tough to watch, especially if you're like a Sixers fan. He needs to make free throws. So yeah, I still have Sixers in 6, and my conference finals will be Sixers versus Milwaukee.
I got something to say. Hey, I believe that Trey Young will be locked from the entire game because Ben Simmons. Yeah, I can see him being defensive player of the year. I can also see Tobias being the player that he is, a step-up player. But lately, I haven't seen Tobias in the previous playoffs do something Tobias worthy in the season, like what he does in the regular season. But I'm still sticking with my gut that the Hawks are gonna win this series. I believe something miracle will happen. Nonetheless, Trey Young does not draw fouls like he usually does, or he gets locked out because of Ben Simmons, or Bogdan does not turn into the Klay Thompson. But I believe the Hawks will really win because I believe in Trey Young, logo Trey. Stealing the nickname from Lillard, logo Lillard. I'm gonna name Trey Young logo Trey because he looks like he can be the next one who can shoot the lights out and prove the Sixers an upset. Even if I believe it's still an upset with or without Joel Embiid, because we all know the Sixers are still the Sixers. And I believe in my under David versus Goliath thing too, that the Hawks will also win. And I think that's all I have to say.
For the Sixers to win, Ben Simmons needs to make those free throws, and they also need those bench scoring from Shake Milton, Furkan Korkmaz. Who else comes off the bench in the Sixers?
Tyrese Maxey.
Maxi and Maxi was I was surprised by his he had some spark off the bench, and he did his fast. And he could provide a spark off the bench. So can Furkan Korkmaz and Shake Milton. Also, they need Seth Curry. Like, didn't he score 30 points or 28? Was it 28?
28.
So it was 28. So yeah, they need the scoring with Seth Curry and Furkan Korkmaz.
Also forgot to add, Ben Simmons needs to be aggressive in this game, and the bench also needs help for them to win. Tyrese Maxey was already a bucket getter in college when he got drafted for the Sixers. I was happy, especially with the work of Matisse Thybulle good defensively. They're good right now, especially Shake Milton, but also as well. But if Embiid isn't that good and Howard will replace him, that's also a bit tough because Capella can sag off Howard. He could guard like either Ben Simmons or Tobias Harris in the paint. So yeah, those are our predictions for the Eastern Conference. So now let's go on to the West. Before we go to Utah versus Clippers or Dallas, who do you have taking game 7?
Me, I already
Go.
said this in the game. My bad. But if Kawhi turns into Toronto Kawhi, Michael Jordan's reincarnation, Kawhi Leonard, I'm going with Clippers easily. If not, and just Kawhi goes for regular Kawhi Leonard from last year, I'm going Mavs. As I believe if Luka drops 42 or 44, those are always the numbers that come out when he come out, and they always get the dub. When Luka shoots and scores 40, I believe Mavs will take this game. Not unless Porzingis, again from what Kenny said, does not post up. Porzingis, you need to learn to post up. Come on. From the first few games you had Rondo on you. From the others you had that what do you call this? That other shooting guard that comes off the bench. T-Man.
Man?
Yeah,
Man.
T-Man.
Terrence Mann.
Porzingis you had on him and he would just not post up, bro. That's what Kenny said. You gotta post the man up. You don't have to do it all the time. You just have to show that you got the moves. Porzingis needs to step up if he wanna be like the second star that the Dallas fans have thought he was. Also, Tim Hardaway Jr. shout out to him. He's low key carrying also the team because I can see he's been shooting lights out. He's hot except for that one game, 5 or 6, where he just shot poorly. Yeah. I wanna see Luka become one of the greatest players, future greatest players, chase greater achievements. Because looking right now, he is already on that path. But I want him to do something magic, earn the nickname Luka Magic, and I'm going. But honestly, I'm going Clippers in 7 because I gotta be honest. Kawhi is dangerous when he's on a mission. That's on me. That's all.
I got you. So, I'm picking the Clippers to win this. And as you saw last night, Kawhi was lights out. Like, oh my god, he couldn't miss from in that fourth quarter. Like, he made those 2 clutch threes. First one was over Luka. The second one was over Finney Smith. He was just lights out, and especially with that start from Reggie Jackson, he could use that from Paul George, or also Reggie Jackson from the next game. And maybe from Marcus Morris needs to shoot better because he didn't play that well last night. Who else is in there? Luke Kennard had some minutes too last night, surprisingly, and he didn't play that well. But they could use his shooting for them to win. And I don't know why Patrick Beverly didn't have any minutes last night. Surprise! It's a surprise. Speaking of Porzingis, he needs to play like Sabonis, Domantas Sabonis. Look how good Domantas Sabonis is with the Pacers. He needs to play like him. Like Sabonis has been better than Porzingis season. Like, and Porzingis has just been staying in the 3-point line, like as if he could. If he could get, he could drive to the basket easily. No, post up, dude. Why do you keep standing outside the 3-point line?
He's literally 17 feet in the sky, and you're telling me he won't post up, bro.
Exactly.
The Clippers
Have
go
you seen-
small every quarter. They're always gonna go small if Zubac does not play.
Boban
Because
gani.
yeah, even Boban.
OP kay Boban.
Ever
Bro,
seen
he's gonna post
Hindi.
up.
seen Domantas Sabonis play?
Bang the post.
Porzingis needs to do that. Maybe this offseason they should consider trading KP for Sabonis if Sabonis is available.
Yeah, but
That's what I wanted to say. I just thought about it when I watched the game last night. This is
You
not
gotta earn.
how
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway Jr. is the second option of the Mavericks. That trade, I think that was they also got Tim Hardaway Jr. from it. Maybe he was the cornerstone of what do you call it? Maybe cornerstone. He was the big name of that trade, not Kristaps Porzingis.
Hey,
Yeah.
shout out to Kristaps. We're not hating on you. We're just telling you to play better, though. Kristaps, you gotta stop shooting logo threes. You ain't Steph Curry, baby. You ain't wet with the shot. I know you're wet with the shot from occasionally, but you gotta stop doing that, bro. You, like
Yeah.
Clyde said, you're 15 feet in the sky. Do something. Like what Clyde
Jokic
said. Yeah.
is like Jokic or Embiid. I already said this fourth time. Sabonis. Yeah, he needs to improve his game definitely. Maybe shoot three sometimes. That should not be his main purpose to play the game. He needs to change his game plan.
This has just turned into a Porzingis rant the entire pod.
Thanks, bro. That was nice. For me, yo, we all know when watching this one or hearing what they said, we all know that Mongab is a lover of Domantas Sabonis. So for me, in this series, I'm with them. I have the Clippers taking Game 7. And yo, this is like something, you wanted to see in every star player. The urge or like the thing we didn't see with LeBron in Game 6, which was he didn't want to lose this game. Like he would give it. We saw it with Kawhi last game. And looking beside Kawhi last game, like he really led that team, really led the Clippers to win that game going to Game 7. And if you watch the Lakers game, LeBron played great, but it wasn't the LeBron we expected or the LeBron we love to see. And if you watch my recap on that video or what's next for Portland and Lakers, it will be down in the link down in the description box. I told there that LeBron wasn't the LeBron we expected or we loved, because he didn't play that. We expected him to do more, like he would lead this thing even without Davis, but that didn't happen. And that's what I love about this Game 7. We have Luka, who is on the rise, or who is already in one of the best players in the league, and he can lead the Dallas to win that game if he scores like 40 or 50 with a triple double. And Kawhi, if Kawhi can match what he did, and with Paul George will do a bit of work, even though he is trash in this series a bit, they could win this series. And speaking of Mavs, if they lose this series, I think it's already time to trade Porzingis. Like, looking at the Porzingis trade, the key gem there was Tim Hardaway Jr. and he showed it in this series. He played very, very good. He matched together with Luka. And the sad thing about this one for Dallas is that, sorry JP, pero you trading Seth Curry for Josh Richardson, that was a good thing for us Sixers fans because we have a good shooter. But you got Josh Richardson who is good, but who isn't really that good this series. It was a wrong move for y'all, and it would be an easier series for you if you didn't do it, but it is what it is. So yeah, it's time to trade Porzingis and try to build more shooters around Luka to win win maybe championships in the future. And for Clippers, I want them to win this series, but if they lose, they're going to be one of the laughing stock in the league for a long time. They tanked in the last games of the regular season. They went in for an easier route and they're having a hard time against Dallas. So yeah, Boban is OP in this series. He will be a huge perk for them. And for Kristaps, I know murag gilike ni Mon sa Twitter, pero Kristaps, we love y'all, but you play like a 7-3 Isaiah Thomas. So
So true.
So it's a good run for you in Dallas, but it's time to trade you for maybe a good star or a good player who could match up with Luka. So in this series we have Clippers. So now let's talk about Utah versus Clippers. Who do you have here, Mon? Because you're a team of the Utah Jazz.
I got you.
What can you say?
Reason why you got me here because I am not biased. I don't think I don't think anybody can guard Kawhi from the Jazz. Maybe it's they can try Royce O'Neal. Oh, by the way, happy birthday to you, Royce O'Neal. Um, you gotta guard Kawhi in this. I know you can't, but you can try. You gotta make him work, and either him or Joe Ingles is gonna guard Kawhi, and PG will you just figure it out. And I know the Clippers maybe cannot match up Gobert. Maybe they're gonna use Zubats or use DeMarcus Cousins and matching up against Rudy Gobert. And Donovan Mitchell needs to be great if they want to win because his impact. He missed game one, and we came back in game two, went all the way straight 4-0, two road games, and talking trash to Dylan Brooks. He got what he deserved. Mike Conley, he needs to be back. Good thing. That's one good thing about the Clippers winning game six. More rest from Mike Conley, and Bojan Bogdanovic needs to score those. Needs to drain those open shots. I think Jordan Clarkson too needs to provide the spark off the bench like he usually does, and so does Joe Ingles. Even though he didn't play well in the first round. Talk about Jordan Clarkson and Joe Ingles, so I'll go to the Clippers. For them to win is, like I said again, is match up against Rudy Gobert. Take away their ball movement. Make Donovan Mitchell pass the ball. Make it somebody else beat you. Maybe Joe Ingles because he played trash against the Grizzlies. That's it. Maybe they could use Beverly finally to guard Mike Conley this series. And one thing about Donovan Mitchell, why is he so underappreciated? Why when Devin Booker scored a 20 around 20 plus points in the first half against the Lakers in game 6. Everybody kept talking about him on Twitter, and meanwhile Donovan Mitchell literally took over in that second quarter again in game 5 against the Grizzlies. Nobody talked about him. Everybody was silent. I know nobody watches the Jazz Grizzlies game series, but I did. And he's so under talked about. Yeah, he came back and nobody gives a damn. That's all I have That's all I have for them.
Alright, I got next. Kung mabutcher to sa mga Dallas fans, si magkayaw-yaw nga Clippers dahil mag-advance. So we're not gonna pass the next round without thinking of Pandemic P, because I see him scoring 20, but no one's cheering for him no one's cheering. I see him scoring 29, 25, something, but no one's saying a good thing. I'm gonna shout out Paul George. You're gonna be Paul George for now, because tomorrow you're gonna be Pandemic P. Because I definitely know you're not gonna play good. You're not gonna show up. I want you to show up. Again, this video has been a Kenny Beecham video, but Kenny said that Kawhi cannot play 48 minutes and become Kawhi Leonard. In the game 5, you saw him gassed, and Paul George didn't do anything, just shot open threes, did layups, but nothing amazing. I want Paul George to show up. I want his name Pandemic P, way off P, no P, PG 13%. I want him to show up. I want him to be the one that Kawhi takes the shoulder off. That goes also for the rest of the role players for Clippers if they're gonna advance in the second round. But in the second round, I'm gonna make this short. I believe the Clippers will sweep the Utah Jazz, but who knows? Who knows? Paul George will not show up. We all know that. Definitely, the Clippers know that. Yeah, it's gonna be a sweep. But I know in my heart that if the Clippers do advance and Paul George plays like a pandemic player, I'm going with Utah in 6. Because honestly, we have a lot of shooters in Utah. Like anybody can shoot except Gobert. but still, I'm
Favors.
going with Utah. Yeah, favors. But I'm going with Utah in six because Kawhi will not give up without a fight. Um, this is my small analysis only on the Utah versus Clippers because I know Dallas fans have a lot to say about this. Shout out to JP. I know you're a Maverick fan for life, but we gotta be honest. Kawhi is a living reincarnation of Michael Jordan. That's on me.
For me, with this Utah and series, Utah versus Clippers game, yeah, this will be a good matchup game if Paul George plays good. If Paul George plays good, if he could defend Donovan Mitchell, it will be good. But I think also as well, we didn't get it in the Jazz versus Memphis game, but I just hope that we will have like a very good matchup game between Kawhi and Donovan Mitchell. Like Donovan Mitchell scores 40, Kawhi scores 40. Like that will be a nice matchup game. But man, I have Utah winning this one in, let's say, 7. Yeah, 7 games. All in the series in the first round didn't match our expectations. They were good matchups, but they didn't match up our expectations. We hope that in the second round we're able to get good game 6 or good series, no blowouts, and some games to reach game 7 like this one, or like the Brooklyn and Milwaukee. And speaking of that game, once again, if that goes to like 4, or like if Milwaukee or Brooklyn goes like in 4 games or 5 or 6, whoever wins that wins the championship. Give them it. But in this series, I have Utah. Like, they have almost everything. They've got defense, they've got shooting. But the only problem with Utah is that if their shots don't go in, especially in the 3-point line, that's gonna be tough for them. It's gonna be tough for them. That happened, I think, in game number 1 of the Memphis game, if I'm correct.
Yeah, game 1. Only they took over late with Boyan Bogdanovic.
Yeah.
Took over in the second half, but it was too late. Royce O'Neal played trash. Jordan Clarkson played trash. And that goes for the rest. Only Mike Conley showed up in that game.
That's the problem for Utah. If their shots in the 3-point don't make, that's gonna be tough for them. Their defense is already elite. That's why they're the number 1 team in the league when it comes to standings. But man, if their shots don't make up, the Clippers are going to take this one, especially with Kawhi right there, especially with how Reggie Jackson played in game number 6. It's going to be good for him. It's going to be giving good, production. Paul George maybe will be like a good Paul George, or like the Paul George we know, but I think it will still be pandemically because of all the people, and people don't care if he scores 20 or something because it doesn't matter because of how he plays. But man, if they give good contributions, especially to the teams or to their players, they're going to win this one. But for me, I still have Utah in this one because you still have Mitchell, you still have Clarkson, you still have Ingles, you still have Gobert. Gobert will be a huge X factor in this game because if Zubac is out, Boogie can't defend. You know that Boogie can't defend. Marcus Morris could defend a bit, but he couldn't guard like 7 something defenders. So yeah, I have Utah taking this game.
George Nian. Marcus Morris.
Yeah, it's a bit tough, bro. That's gonna be tough. This will be hoping it will be a game 7 series. So now, let's go on to the last series in the Western Conference. It will be Denver versus Phoenix. Who do you have here? This will be a great matchup.
This is the game that I'll definitely watch because Devin Booker just became legendary, just like the late great Kobe Bryant told him to do. Became legendary. CP3, I don't know how injured your shoulder is, but I hope you still play like the best CP3 you can be. And I know you did great in the final game from the Lakers. And I'm not getting over the Lakers. I thought Lakers would win. I thought LeBron would play more. I thought everybody would shoot their threes in Lakers. But no, we're done with that conversation. And Phoenix. I'm having Phoenix in 6. Because I trust in CP3 and Devin Booker. And Ayton! God damn, DeAndre Ayton. You are becoming a low-key sleeper center in the league. I believe you're gonna... Yeah, Jay Crowder, if he shoots his threes. The Salsa Man. Let's go, Salsa Man. I believe in those. But for DeAndre Ayton, just like Kenny said again, he's a sleeper center. He's gonna be remembered as one of the top three best picks from the Luka and Trey Young draft pick. Or was yeah, I don't know what year, I forgot, but yeah, they're gonna be the top three most remembered people to have ever been glazed in the league.
2018 lang.
Yeah, 2018. But if Jokic becomes the MVP form, keeps passing it to MPJ, who's becoming a low-key Kevin Durant, I'm having also thoughts about Denver winning this. But I'll see this in a 7-game series. Definitely. I know I said Phoenix, but this will be going to a 7 again. This is my third team that will go to a 7th game. Because I know this will be a back and forth game, shootout. But I'm having Phoenix coming out of this game versus Denver. Because I believe every shooter in Phoenix are having a chip on their shoulder. They just defeated the champions, the former champions from last year. They have a story of saying, for Chris Paul at least, that he could never compete in the highest level, but he did, and he is here now in the second round. I can see him going to the conference finals. But if Denver has their shooters too, this will be a 7-game series. Most definitely, I'm taking Phoenix in 7.
Oh, it's my turn now. I'm picking the Suns to win this in 6 games. I hope Chris Paul gets healthy, and Devin Booker needs to be legendary, like what the late great Kobe Bryant said. He got it tattooed on his forearm, on his arm, to remember what the Kobe said. Jay Crowder also needs to drain it, make those shots too. So does Mikal Bridges. The campaign needs to do what he did to the Lakers. DeAndre Ayton needs to do his thing too. And for the Nuggets, if Jamal Murray was in this, I would pick them to win this in 5. He's not here, so Michael Porter Jr. needs to score like he did against Portland. Jokic needs to be great too to win it. Monte Morris, Campazzo, Austin Rivers was a huge piece to winning that series against Portland, and he needs to drain those shots too. Double team Jokic. You cannot double team Jokic, otherwise he can find an open man. That's what makes it tough to defend Denver. You cannot double team Jokic. It's difficult. May double team Steph Curry, but not Jokic. Like I said, Michael Porter Jr. did some damage against Portland. Like what Aaron said, he's turning into Kevin Durant. Maybe he could score without Jokic. He could be like Jason Tatum, scoring 40 points, 50 points. If he's the main star of the team, but Jokic is in there, so he can't do that. Yeah, like I said, Jokic brings the ball, pass it to MPJ, and over for them if they could score those buckets, and their defense needs to step up against Devin Booker. Make somebody else beat you. Maybe if Chris Paul's still injured, make CP3 beat you. Still picking the Suns to win this in 6 games.
I was already a fan of MPJ since he was already in high school, and as you said, he's like turning out to be a younger KD. He was projected to be KD in the draft, but due to his back injury, he fell down. He was supposed to be the number 1 draft pick going into the 2018, but since he got injured because of his back, he fell down and went to 7. And it was lucky because that Denver got him instead of the Bulls of 14. Yeah. He was lucky that he got into Denver, and he turns out into like this great scorer. This is tough, bro. They're both match up teams. Like, as what I said, is what I said in one of my recaps. If Denver had Jamal Murray, I have them winning the West. But bro, they don't have Jamal Murray. So I wanna see. It's a bit biased right here. I wanna see one last road to championship for Chris Paul, and I have the Suns going on this one. I just wanna see Chris Paul win a championship. Maybe it's the time right now, even though it's a bit injured, but I hope it won't really damage him that much. I know he changed a bit his shooting form because of that shoulder, and bro, he still has that playmaking. He's a point guard. You know, he's already the point guard. He's the point guard, and he will make a lot of ton of passes to Booker, to Bridges, who is my favorite Suns player right now, to DeAndre Ayton, who is also a sleeper of a center because he's the number one draft pick in that Luka and Trey Young draft class, which is also the draft class Michael Porter Jr. is in. So 2018 draft class is turning out to be a very very good draft class. And bro, the Suns have, like, they almost have everything. And you look at Denver, they lack a bit of pieces. They don't have PJ Dozier, they don't have Will Barton. They are good wing defenders, and they only have like Campazzo, who is like a fun defender to watch because he's 5'10". They also have like Austin Rivers, who is one of the best signings Denver has had this season since Jamal Murray went down. And yeah, Jokic is going to do his work. He's going to do his thing. He's going to pass to Michael Porter Jr. But there's always this love-hate relationship with Michael Porter Jr. that he makes crazy shots. Okay, he makes crazy shots. He can make like 6 out of 6 from crazy shots. But if you go to the second half, he scores like 0 of 4 or like that. Those things. It's just that one, bro. It's that love and hate relationship with Michael Porter Jr. But yo, I still have the Suns winning this one because I know Devin Booker will light up here. He will live that be legendary name or that line. He will live up to that, and he will lead the Phoenix Suns to the conference finals.
Remember, the Nuggets also lost Jeremy Grant last season. Last off season. A huge piece in the bubble.
More reason to vote for the Phoenix Suns. Let's go, Suns. I trust in CP3 to get one last championship run. But we all knew who was gonna win. We have Brooklyn and Milwaukee chilling over there. We have our true contenders over there for the champs. But we all know we want a C. We all know we have a CP3 dream. We're all dreaming of it.
Especially me, I've been dreaming that since his Clipper days. I'm picking them to come out of the West. There's no bias, but yeah, I'm picking them to come out of the West. Even without experience, they got CP3 over there. They got Crowder over there, doing the salsa dance. They got Saric coming off the bench. I know he doesn't play that much because Kaminsky took his minutes from him. They also have Campaign, who could provide a spark off the bench. And that's it. That's all I have about the Phoenix Suns.
Mongab is a huge CP3 fan. If you didn't know, like since before pa. So yeah, he has like Suns winning this one. Yo, Campaign, bro. If he plays good, yo, it's going to be a fun matchup, bro. Who's there? They have Monte Morris. Monte Morris is also fun, bro. Austin Rivers is fun. Like it's gonna be a lot of threes type of game. It will be a lot of shooting in this one, and it will be raining threes everywhere.
Hold on. Hold on. We could also in this Suns Nuggets. This is also a first match of Devin Booker and Michael Porter Jr. In the future, in years to come, they might be a rivalry in the playoffs in their careers.
That's good. That's true. They're still very young. This team, the theme of these playoffs is like, they call this the rise of the future stars. Oh, nice name, nice one, nice name, nice motto. But that's the
Next generation.
next generation, or like no, yeah, the next generation or the next future stars. That's good. That's the theme of these playoffs. We still have KD, we still have Kyrie, we still have Harden, we still have Giannis. Giannis is still young. He could like he could be like one of the best players or the best player in the league in the next years to come.
So Kawhi, remember?
Kawhi's getting old.
PG.
Kawhi's getting old. PG as well. And this will be like the first playoffs or the first finals we'll have since 2010, wherein there will be no LeBron or Curry. So it will be fun, and whoever wins, whoever wins.
I have something that there will be no Steph. Shout out Steph. I know you tried your best. You're in my eyes. You're the MVP, Steph. Shoot lights out. You're the greatest. Look at Curry, man, as Flight would say.
Look at Curry, man. Inspirational shit.
I know you won't win the MVP. I know Jokic will, but look at Curry, man. Look at Curry, man. That's all I can say. I know you could have just done. Your entire team could have done better in the play-in, but it sucks to see. We'll come back better. Warriors will come back better. That's all I have to say. I'm gonna miss you, Steph. We're gonna miss you. We're gonna see you this next season. Like this year, gonna be your twilight years. Like it's your win everything and retire soon years. So I'm gonna be watching you all the time. If you don't know, I'm a Warriors fan. Let's go. That's all.
It's my turn. So it's a new era. We saw Ja Morant score 47. We saw Jason Tatum score 50. So Michael Porter Jr. scored 26 in the first. I forget how many points he had in that first half, but he still played well. Jokic is still young. Damian Lillard scored 55. LeBron is out. Steph Curry is out. So we have Donovan Mitchell's 26-point first half in Game 5, and I'm giving some love to Dylan Brooks, even though Donovan Mitchell talked trash to him. I'm still giving him some love because he fought hard against them. Especially the Ja Morant too scored. Like I said, he scored 47. Devin Booker too scored. Scored 47. Luka Doncic carrying his team. Who else is in there? Who else is a young star? Ben Simmons, maybe. Trae Young. It's a new era. Is there anybody I'm missing? Young star. I talked about Jason Tatum. I talked Donovan Mitchell. I talked Ben Simmons. I talked Ja Morant. Is there anybody else I'm missing?
Jalen Brown.
LaMelo
He didn't
Ball.
play. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about the playoffs here. LaMelo Ball didn't play well the play-in tournament.
He choked.
Hold on. Speaking of the players outside the playoffs, I appreciate the hype of Zion Williamson, but I think he's being overhyped. His team is not playing well, even with those stars with Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and Jackson Hayes. But I think he's being overhyped. Any thoughts about that?
May clickbait ka na for your entire podcast. Zion overhyped, yes or no? Exclamation question mark. Nah, that's it. Have a clickbait. Let's go.
For
What do
me,
you want it?
for me, Zion's not overhyped, bro. He's gonna be a future star. The problem with New Orleans is coaching. And if you look at the news with New Orleans, they don't like their coach. They don't vibe with their coach. They don't vibe with their
Van Gundy there?
and Van Gundy don't vibe with their coach.
Hold on. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying Zion is not good. I like his game. Like
But
he deserves to be in.
his hype died because he didn't reach the playoffs, or like he didn't his their teams is not really like in the I think they're not like mostly in the they call this televised games.
He has there's a lot of Pelicans televised games.
Oh yeah, ang kay ang Memphis kay Zion, 'di ba?
And Memphis.
Oh,
Everybody wants to watch Zion, as if they can win those games. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm saying he's good. He has potential to be LeBron or somebody else, some other great player, maybe Charles Barkley. But I think he needs, if they win games, that's when he deserves the hype. But they don't win games. Look at the South.
It's their problem with the rotation is coaching. The coaching ang problem sa New Orleans. Yan ang problema ba?
I don't really. They have a lot of televised games. I don't really want to watch the Pelicans. I'd rather watch Boston Celtics game. Look at Jason Tatum. He's been
Yo, wanna watch
Jason
the
Tatum.
mellow ball more than Zion.
Yeah,
I watch
exactly.
I watch a lot of Charlotte games rather than Pelicans games. Kay lingaw ilang announcers by.
Exactly.
Promise by.
See? Everybody wanna watch the Charlottes because of Lamelo and the
I watched
announcers
LaMelo
going,
Ball.
oh my!
Oh my, promise by. We will save those talks for future episodes or episodes after the playoffs because we will talk more a lot in the off season. So it's the end of the episode today. We'll save those talks for future episodes. So we'll talk about the future and off season and what teams will be doing for their off season for the next season. So it's the end of the show. Before we end, Aaron, you're new to this show. Alright? Mongab already answered this one in the first episode. The show is called The Dub. If you are on a team and you're losing by 5, who will be the player remaining? Who will be the player not remaining but in the playoffs? Who will be the player you will pick to take the last shot and make you get the dub?
So this is like Kenny.
Steph
For
Curry.
the play.
He's not. He wasn't in the playoffs.
Of course I would take Steph, but realistically speaking, who isn't in the playoffs that I would take the last shot?
In the playoffs. Like,
In the
No, in the
playoffs.
playoffs.
include LeBron because
Include all
he
of
was in the
these
playoffs.
eliminated.
Uh, I'm going with Kyrie because he's the man with the dagger, the man with who makes clutch shots. I could
That is
also go
quick.
with Devin. Wait, I would also go with Devin Booker because he's showing glimpses of being the next star of this league, like the new Kobe Bryant face. But we'll see. But for me, 5 seconds down, I want to take the last shot for the win. I'm taking Kyrie. He may be crazy, but he's a man with the dagger hands. He got cold hands, ice on his
That's quick.
veins.
I took like 5 minutes to answer that question. Did I?
Yeah, Morton.
You did.
So now,
I chose
so
Damian
for,
Lillard, right?
oh yeah, Damian Lillard. That was a good
That was
answer.
Damian Lillard.
Also for
How about you, Onin?
Aaron, good answer. I would take Dame. For teams in the remaining in the playoffs or the playoffs, I will take Dame. Because, Dame's my favorite player. So, he's one of the clutchest players in the league. So, lastly, Aaron, kung all time, any player all time, who would you pick?
Like, is there a ranking like 1 to 5, or like just one guy that's like
Just
the
one
best
guy.
player of all time?
One guy, only pick. Who would you take the last shot for you to get the dub?
Huh. I'm taking Steph all day. You can make those. I'm taking Steph.
My answer was, to that was Kobe.
Oh, Kobe. We have the same answer, Kobe.
Yeah.
That's good answer.
Yeah. I had Kobe too. If there were no Steph, I'd take Kobe too. But I gotta stick with my man Steph. He shoots lights out all day, baby. He's the chef. That's it. That's my call game for him.
So that's the end of the show. We already gave our predictions, so it's now time to see what will happen in the playoffs. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more episodes coming up. We'll be giving up our predictions for the conference finals and the finals and things that will happen in the off season. Right? If you enjoy things like this, leave a like and subscribe for more, and more recaps will be coming up soon for maybe each NBA games or like every single game, which is good. So yeah, leave a like and subscribe and comment down on your thoughts about these things. So I'll see you all soon. Peace.
Let's go.
Go!
Let's go. Wait, please wait.